When Borderlands launched way back in 2009, players quickly learned that just because something was a legendary, it did not mean that it was the strongest option. Sometimes blue and purple rarity weapons can put them to shame. So these are my top 10 best weapons that aren't legendary, pearlescent, or seraph rarity.
And number 10 is...
Starting us off strong at number 10 is one of my favorite weapons in the history of the franchise, the Machine from Borderlands, the pre-sequel. Obtainable from the grinder, vending machines, or as a world drop, this flat-off sniper on the surface feels a little bit like Borderlands 2's Lyuda until you start shooting it. You see, the longer you hold the trigger, the more damage it does. It will absolutely eat through your ammo supplies, but when you absolutely, positively need to make sure that an enemy dies quick, this gun is a very fun option.
Now let's see number 9!
At number 9 is the Twister from Borderlands 2. Now, I struggled with the thought of putting this one on the list, not because it's not worthy of number 5 and not because it's not worthy of being on the list, but because it is damn near impossible for most people to obtain this thing. The Twister is a Jacob shotgun, and it is only dropped by one enemy in the entire game, and that is Ohm Ak. And I guarantee you, most of the people watching this video have never even had Ohm Ak spawn before. To get Ohm Ak to spawn, you need to get the witch doctors to evolve badass savages 3 times and then hope on that third evolution that it turns into Ohm Ak, and that is really hard to do. I have personally spent hours trying to evolve badass savages to get this guy to spawn, and it is a nightmare. So if you're out there looking for a god roll to chase and you think that all the other god rolls in the game are too easy, go try and get a Twister with god roll. Get you a matching Jacob's grip, get you a Hyperion stock on that thing with a foregrip. Yeah, good luck. I'll see you in 150 years. So what makes this thing so good is that when you shoot it, projectiles form a tornado over a short distance that moves in a straight line toward enemies. It does move slow, so you do want to use this up kind of close. The projectiles will explode on impact, they deal splash damage, and those explosions deal 40% weapon damage as splash damage that is boosted by grenade damage. That's right. It does a lot of damage. Now, in the hands of Gage, this thing is insane, especially when you have a bunch of stacks of anarchy. This thing just goes all over the place, melts everything on the screen, but it's also great for all the other Vault Hunters. Again, you do need to be up close and personal though to make this thing work.
Let's go to number 8!
Coming in at number 8 is the Orphan Maker. This Jacob shotgun is mostly seen as a Salvador specific weapon, but truthfully, every Vault Hunter can use it to do wild damage. The trick with the Orphan Maker is that with each shot you will take 5% damage. Now, this sounds kind of scary, but really you're going to mostly be using this for mobbing, and as such, you're going to be healing as you do, so it generally won't be a problem. What makes this so good as a shotgun is just how strong it is. If you can get point blank or within a few feet of an enemy and hit a crit with this gun, then most of the time it's going to be a one tap on most mobs, or at least put them really close to death. The Orphan Maker is a quest reward from the Message in a Bottle Oasis mission in the Captain Scarlet DLC.
On to lucky number 7!
At lucky number 7 is one of my favorite weapons in any of the games, and definitely my favorite from Borderlands 1, the Double Anarchy. This SMG was manufactured by multiple manufacturers, and it's not a unique, it's not a red text item, it's just a random weapon with great parts, and it shreds. As such, you can get it from chests, world drops, or vending machines. The Double Anarchy is a damage machine. For those of you guys who never used it, but maybe tried the last go on Borderlands 2, it's like that, but more accurate and stronger. It's just a fun weapon that makes every playthrough easier on Borderlands 1. If you find one at like level 10, it's going to probably last you to level 25 or so.
Number 6!
Coming in at number 6 is the Fibber, and like I mentioned on the Orphan Maker, the Fibber is also thought of as being specifically for one character, in this case Gage the Necromancer, but in actuality every Vault Hunter can use the Fibber to do some crazy damage, especially if you pair it with the B Shield. The trick is you need to get a very specific version of the Fibber for it to be great. What you're going to be looking for is 7 digits at level 80. The easiest way to tell if you got the right Fibber is the base damage. If you're doing read-only farming, then you can look at the item and even shoot it to see if shooting the ground splits the shots into 9 projectiles. If you're on console, it's a little bit trickier to hunt for what you want, but I put a guide by my friend Jiffy Nano down in the description of this video, and that explains how to do this very efficiently. The Fibber is a quest reward from a real boy human in Iridium Blight in the base game of Borderlands 2.
Number 5!
Believe it or not, there is only one Borderlands 3 item on this list, largely because mission reward items kind of suck in that game. The crit. Obtainable by Tip and Moxie in Sanctuary, the crit is one of the best SMGs in the game, and since you can get it by Tip and Moxie, it's also one of the easiest weapons to get in the game. At launch of Borderlands 3, like a lot of things in the game, it wasn't good, but on February 11th of 2021, Gearbox buffed this gun by a whopping 540%, while also increasing its lifesteal ability from 5% up to 8%, and lowering its chance to drop on reload from 12.5% down to just 5%. The gimmick to this gun lies with the red text, slippery when wet. When you reload this gun, you have a chance to drop it, which can be quite the trade-off while you're in an intense fight. But this gun does crazy damage, and it also heals you extremely well, being a Moxie weapon and all. Also, with it being so easy to obtain from the very first time you visit Sanctuary to the start of Mayhem, this makes a very powerful weapon to help with the transition into tougher content. Anytime you feel stuck, you can always go get you a nice brand new crit. One of the best weapons in Borderlands 2 that I think a substantial portion of players still don't know about or appreciate is the Lady Fist. This Hyperion pistol is reason enough that Gearbox needs to bring back Hyperion pistols in Borderlands 4, featuring an astonishing 800% critical hit damage bonus, high fire rate, and the ability to come in all the elements or even be non-elemental. This gun is amazing. Honestly, it's one of the strongest overall weapons in Borderlands 2, even when compared to legendaries, pearls, and seraphs. Originally, this gun only had 400% critical damage boost, and frankly, that was still very good, but increasing it to 800% makes it an invaluable tool for most vault hunters. Salvador can offhand this thing and apply its crit damage to his main hand weapon, or hold it in his main hand weapon and use like a quad or an orphan maker and do crazy damage because they will get that crit damage bonus on those. Other vault hunters can abuse weapon swapping to apply the Lady Fist crit bonus to other weapons. For example, shoot the Sandhawk at Terramorphous. Now go into your inventory while the projectiles are mid-flight and swap the Lady Fist places with the Sandhawk. Now all those projectiles will get that 800% critical damage increase.
Here's number 3.
Speaking of things that do some pretty wild damage, the Sandhawk from Borderlands 2. This doll SMG is a story mission reward in the Captain Scarlet DLC when you finish the Whoops mission. So again, read-only farm on PC or use the video in the description down below to learn how to cloud save farm on console. Ideally, you want the flying Sandhawk in various elements because when paired with the B shield, this gun is godly for damage. But that's also kind of the main drawback and why I didn't rate it a little bit higher on this list. If you get a bad roll or you try to use it without the B shield, it'll still do damage, but it is a noticeable drop off. But still, like pizza or sex, even bad Sandhawk is good Sandhawk. You know what I'm saying? That said, Maya can still absolutely shred with the Sandhawk because she has some SMG boosting class mods and some other skills that make this thing exceptional, especially being able to get the projectiles there quick.
Number 2.
And number 2 on this list is the Grog Nozzle from Borderlands 2. Obtainable as a mission item, not a reward, keep that in mind. The Grog Nozzle is the most powerful healing weapon in Borderlands history. Basically, the Grog Nozzle heals you for 65% of all the damage you deal. In other words, hold this gun in your hand, chuck a chain lightning at an enemy, fully healed. Shoot your Herald and swap to this mid-flight, fully healed. Additionally, this gun has 400% critical hit bonus and can occasionally trigger a drunk effect, which will make your gun shoot slower, but you'll gain 5 projectiles. It will also make your screen sway and your accuracy will be doo-doo butts, but if you trigger the drunk effect with this gun by swapping to it repeatedly until it triggers, and then swap to a Topnia or Norfleet, then you can obliterate the entire screen full of enemies. This effect only lasts for 5 seconds though, so you have to be quick. Now it's true that you don't have to have a Grog Nozzle in ultimate mode. You can heal well with a Ruby or Heartbreaker or Crypt, for example, but the massive amount of healing that you get with the Grog Nozzle means you can heal to full health with minimal effort. To get the Grog Nozzle, what you want to do is you want to pick up the Beard Makes the Man side quest from Claptrap in the Tiny Tina Assault on Dragon Keep DLC, but do not complete the mission. If you finish the mission, you lose the Grog Nozzle. Since this is a mission item, the parts will change on every save quit of the game. Some parts are better than others, but generally for the purpose of healing, any grog will do the trick.
Honorable mention.
Honorable mentions, there is a ton, but I'm just going to limit to the ones that I think are the best. Sword Explosion, Topnia, Rapier, Lasco, Hive, Blockhead, Phrygia, the Hail and Dakota from Borderlands 3, and the Fast Talker and Company Man from the pre-sequel.
Number 1.
Coming in at number 1 is the Pimpernel. This gun just absolutely positively is stronger than pretty much every legendary seraph and pearlescent in Borderlands 2. The best part, you do not need the B shield with this gun to kill enemies. Just aim for their crotch, and when you hit them, the unique effect on this gun is that your shot will then split into 5 more projectiles rising upward and out in different directions, which leads to some pretty crazy damage. This gun also gets the benefit of dealing splash damage, further adding to its power. But here's the craziest part about this whole thing. This gun, which is stronger than probably 90% of all the other weapons in Borderlands 2, is a mission reward from the Don't Copy That Floppy mission in the Captain Scarlet DLC, which can be completed in mere minutes. I timed it one time, I accepted the mission, ran over, collected the floppy disks, came back, turned the thing in, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. To get one of the best weapons in the franchise's history, that is absolutely wild stuff. And it goes without saying that the Pimpernel in the hands of Salvador with a world burn or an Ahab launcher in his right hand is godly. Now, since it's a mission reward, once again, make sure to utilize read-only farming on PC or the cloud save farming for consoles method linked in the description down below to farm multiple versions and hunt for the best version for yourself. And those are my picks for the best non-legendary seraph and pearlescent weapons. Let me know what your picks are in the comment section down below. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for when I post a new one. Thank you guys for watching. Take care.